Hi, kids. It's children's story time again, and we are with two friends, Frog and Toad, the story treasurer. Today, we're doing The Kite and Shivers. Now, remember, if you have some books you would like me to read, let me look into, let me know, get your parents to let me know, and I'll look. I saw some from the Red Wall series. I saw another recommendation from Curious George and several others. So that's great. So if you've got some more, let me know. Here we go. The Kite. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. Have you ever flown a kite before? Great fun. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Whoosh. Can you make a wind sound? Whoosh. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky. Toad, said Frog, I will hold the ball of string, you hold the kite and run. So there they are, out in the big meadow to go fly a kite. Right? There they are. You see the kite? Can you see the kite right there? Yeah. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. There you go. Fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. You see them? Can you do robin laughs? That kite will not fly, said the robins. You may as well give up. Toad ran back to Frog. Frog, said Toad, this kite will not fly. I give up. Oh, goodness, Toad. Just because somebody else says it. Well, let's see what happens. We must make a second try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps it will make it fly. Toad ran back across the meadow and he waved the kite over his head. There he is, waving the kite over his head. If you've ever flown a kite, you know that sometimes it can be a real difficulty. The kite went up in the air and then fell down with a thud. Boom. What a joke, said the robins. That kite will never get off the ground. Those naysayers, those negative minds, those robins. Maybe the robins should go hunt for worms. That's what they do best. Toad ran back to Frog. This kite is a joke, he said. It will never get off the ground. We have to try a third try, said Frog. Wave the kite over your head, jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly. Poor kite is a little rumpled by this point, isn't it? Yep. Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. The kite went up in the air and crashed in the grass. Oh, that kite is junk, said the robins. Throw it away and go home. There's Toad jumping around with the kite, trying to throw it in the air. There's the robins. Toad ran back to Frog. This kite is junk, he said. I think we should throw it away and go home. Toad, said Frog, we need one more try. Wave the kite over your head, jump up and down, and shout, up, kite, up. Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down, and he shouted, up, kite, up, kite, up, up. The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher. There it is. There's going in the sky. What do you see the robins doing? They're probably going, oh my goodness. We did it, cried Toad. Yes, said Frog. If a running try did not work, and a running and waving try did not work, and a running, waving, and Jumping try did not work. I knew that a running, waving, jumping, and shouting try just had to work. Ah, the science of it all. The robins flew out of the bush, but they could not fly as high as the kite. Frog and Toad sat and watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up at the top of the sky. The kite. Now comes the Shivers. That night was cold and dark. Listen to the wind howling in the trees, said Frog. Can you pretend to make wind noises howling in the trees? What a fine time for a ghost story. Toad moved deeper into his chair. Toad, asked Frog, don't you like to be scared? Oh, I'm sorry, that was not Toad, that was Frog that said it. So let me go back. What a fine time for a ghost story. Toad moved deeper into his chair. Toad, asked Frog, don't you like to be scared? Don't you like to feel the shivers? I am not too sure, said Toad. Frog made a fresh pot of tea. He sat down and began a story. There they are. If you look out the window, you can see the trees blowing and the night is gloomy and dark. A great night for ghost stories. I don't like ghost stories either. When I was small, said Frog, my mother and father and I went out for a picnic. On the way home, we lost our way. My mother was worried. We must get home, she said. We do not want to meet the old dark frog. Who is that? I asked. A terrible ghost, said my father. He comes out at night and eats little frog children for supper. Toad sipped his tea. Can you sip your tea? Frog, he asked, are you making this up? Maybe yes, and maybe no, said Frog. There's Toad sipping his tea. My mother and father went to search for a path, said Frog. They told me to wait until they came back. I sat under a tree and waited. The woods became dark. I was afraid. Then I saw two huge eyes. It was old Dark Frog. He was standing near me. Ah! Is that scary? Frog, asked Toad, did this really happen? Maybe it did, and maybe it didn't, said Frog. Frog went on with the story. The Dark Frog pulled a jump rope out of his pocket. There's Toad and Frog talking about it. I am not hungry now, said the Dark Frog. I have eaten too many tasty frog children, but after I jump rope 100 times, I will be hungry again, and I will eat you. Ah! That's a scary story already. The Dark Frog tied one end of the rope to a tree. Turn for me, he shouted. I turned the rope for the Dark Frog. Can you play like you're turning the jump rope for a Dark Frog? He jumped 20 times. I am beginning to get hungry, said the Dark Frog. He jumped 50 times. I am getting hungrier, said the Dark Frog. He jumped 90 times. I am very hungry now, said the Dark Frog. There he is, jumping rope. There's Frog helping him. And there's the Dark Frog jumping the 90th time, and there's Frog. Oh no! What will happen to Frog? What happened then? Asked Toad. I had to save my life, said Frog. I ran around and around the tree with a rope. I tied up the old dark frog. He roared and screamed, and I ran away fast. There's Toad asking what happened next, and there's the dark frog all tied up with his own jump rope. Smart thinking, Frog. I found my mother and father, said Frog. We came safely home. Frog, asked Toad. Was that a true story? Maybe it was, and maybe it wasn't, said Frog. Frog and Toad sat close by the fire. Oh, there's Frog and his mom and his dad running home. Frog and Toad sat close by the fire. They were scared. The teacups shook in their hands. Can you hold your cup plate like this and your cup like this? Go. They were having the shivers. It was a good, warm feeling. Have you ever been around a campfire and had ghost stories told, and when it's dark at night and there's a campfire and all that? It's something like that. And that was the Shivers. So tomorrow we have 2 final stories from Frog and Toad. You'll notice that Frog and Toad are good friends. They like to even scare each other sometimes. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I will see you all tomorrow. Bye now.